It's Monday, January 23rd, 2023, and this is episode 275 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. I'm Mark Duvall.
And I'm Dr. Mike.
Mike, how are you doing?
Pretty good. Things are going well.
I understand you've moved into your new house now, officially?
Yes, we are officially living here now. We were kind of going back and forth, we still have a million boxes to open, but
you're actually in your house right now as we record.
Yes,
great.
Recording. Yep. We'll slowly get things unpacked, but at least, we can get 2 cars in the garage. and that's always a good thing.
That is a good thing. I don't think you were able to do that at your old house.
No. And I told Lynn the first thing when we bought this house, I want to keep this garage empty, just cars.
Fantastic.
We got so much room in the basement, so
yeah,
we can store everything down there.
Yeah, good. All right. Well, any trips out to Diamond Joe worth mentioning?
No, I went once and, nothing really happened.
Okay.
It was an okay day, but nothing super exciting. I rolled the all.
Oh, well, that's something at least. Good.
Yeah, that was the only one of the day. There were a couple of halves, but
all right.
That was nice.
Well, Sherry and I went up to Harrah, Southern California this last weekend. Gosh, I haven't been in a long time. Maybe since you were out here last, which was late August, early September, something like that.
Yep.
So not much different. I was wondering, oh boy, how much is going to be different? No, there really wasn't much difference. I did take Sherry around and showed her some face-up Pai-Gow poker. We actually played some face-up for a little while. I wanted her to get a sense of Pai-Gow poker because she's never really played it before, and I'm sure we're going to play some when we go to Biloxi. Although, this was face-up, and at least last year when we were in Biloxi, there was no face-up. Everything was traditional Pai-Gow poker. So we'll see this year. I don't know if that'll be the case. But anyway, we played a little bit of that, and then I also showed her a Baccarat squeeze game in the high limit room, just so she could kind of see that, where you're able to bend the cards and, crinkle them and what have you. And it's more of a ritual than anything else. And I'm sure we're going to be playing some of that in Biloxi. So we did that for a little while, and then went to the craps table and just could not lose. I think I texted you every shooter while we were there was a winner. And so I left with a nice little profit. And
wow, that's amazing, actually.
It really is. And,
all-around good night.
While we were there, the all wasn't hit, but one side was hit twice. I think, the tall once, the small once.
Yeah.
So, everybody was winning at the table.
Nice.
And then we went over to Hell's Kitchen, which we never been before. Said, hey, you got any seating at the bar? And they said, yeah, we got seated right away. And it's a full menu at the bar. It's not like a specialized menu. So, yeah, I got the beef Wellington. Again, kind of like I had when we went to Vegas. We didn't go to the Hell's Kitchen there, but we went to the Gordon Ramsay steak. I got that and some mac and cheese, and Sherry got a beet salad and some pumpkin soup. And it's a great experience there. And I'll tell you, you want to talk about great service. It was fantastic.
Really?
Yeah, really attentive, nice, just terrific. And again, we're just sitting at the bar, so we didn't have to wait for a seat or for anything. And it's just a great experience.
Well, that's nice to hear because the steakhouse there, my biggest complaint was the service.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I only ate there once, but yeah.
Yeah, I've eaten there maybe 4 times. And every time the service was just so slow and almost like they want you to stay there 2 hours. And the food was okay, but the service just got to us. And, eventually even my wife said, I don't want to eat there anymore because it takes so long.
Yeah.
So that's nice to hear that Hell's Kitchen was better.
Yeah, at least at the bar. They're right there in front of you. So
well, I imagine it's the same.
I would think so.
The rest of the restaurant. Yeah, they get the food out quick and take good care of you. That's, 90% of the deal.
Yep. Now, the big news, of course, and I texted you this as soon as I saw it, a brand new McDonald's in Valley Center, which is much closer to Harrah's than any other fast food that we normally go to when we leave the casino. So
yeah, and the nice thing about that is you got plenty of time to eat on the way home.
Plenty of time. That's right.
Yeah, which means I can order more and keep eating until I get to my house if I still live there.
Now I will say now I will say this. It's like brand new. It seemed like very new. I was going to ask them how new it was, but the experience was so horrific. We stopped there on the way back just to get coffee. Just a cup of coffee. All right.
Yeah.
And I used the McDonald's app, which was like 99-cent coffee. It's like good. It seemed like there was no trouble after we ordered. And then we sat behind a car who was just at the pay window, wasn't even up to get their food yet, but was there forever.
Wow.
And we're thinking, what's going on? And so then we pull up finally to the pay window. Okay, did you have the chocolate shake? No, we had coffee. What size? So he had to completely take our order again. Then
oh my God.
Got the price wrong. We finally pulled up to where you actually get your food, and the woman's there. Okay, you had the 2 apple slices? No, we had a cup of coffee. I think what the guy had done, he was so flustered trying to get our price right that he just entered it as apple slices to get the price right at the window. So that took forever. So hopefully they'll have those bugs ironed out by the time.
At that point, you just take the apple slices and leave.
I really don't even want the coffee.
Just give me the apples.
But anyway, a great experience.
New staff.
Yeah, new staff. Exactly. It was clear
learning.
that and the place looked very, very new. So
yeah, right. They're learning. They'll hopefully get that squared away, but it is McDonald's. So
well, it was a great experience up at Harrah, Southern California. Everybody was asking about you, of course, and you've made some plans to come out now.
Yes, I will be in San Diego on the 15th of February, which I believe is a Wednesday.
Okay.
And staying through midday of February 19th.
Okay, so I'm sure you'll be heading up to Harrah's. You say you're leaving to go home on that Sunday, so
yes,
probably Friday night would be most likely for you to go to Harrah's, right? Because Saturday night you're going to be leaving the next day. You probably don't want to stay out too late, right?
No, exactly. Yeah, Friday night, the 17th is probably looking like the night at Harrah's.
All right. So if anybody is looking to meet up with us, circle this on your calendar, Friday, February 17th. And I imagine we'll try to get out there fairly early and stay fairly late, depending on how things are going, of course.
I'm open, so whenever you're ready to go, I'm ready to go.
Okay, I'm sure I'll be ready at like 10 in the morning, so I'll...
All right, very good. I would love it if we could go there at 10 in the morning and stay till 1 a.m. and never be down.
Yeah, that's the thing. If our bankrolls can handle it, that'd be great.
Right.
I'd love to have
That
a
would be
super
a
long
great
session
night.
like that.
Yeah.
Well, on our last episode, listener Vinny gave us a report on Harrah's Cherokee, and he mentioned some high minimums and a lack of good food options. Otherwise, he said the place was very nice, like one of the nicest Harrah's he's ever been to. Well, we got an email from listener Steve from Charlotte, North Carolina, who goes there regularly. So let me read you his email. Harrah's Cherokee is my home casino, and I sure hope you can come sometime. Yeah, you're making those arrangements, right, Mike? Just FYI.
Yeah,
guys.
I'm working on that.
All right. I made 15 trips there in 2022 and was there over New Year's and again on January 7th. And both times, there were at least 2 craps tables with $15 minimums, all days and nights except New Year's Eve. This has been pretty normal since about September 2022, where before that it was just $25 and up. Also, food-wise, Brio's restaurant may have the best salmon fresca and espresso ribeye steak in the state. It even beats the Ruth's Chris, which is also on site and slightly above average, but not like the one in Harrah's Las Vegas. Gordon Ramsay's food court does have a sushi place that is pretty good, and some of the other places are definitely palatable. The pizza is pretty good, and there is so much variety. Also, they have an authentic noodle bar that makes a mean shrimp fried rice, and Seilu Garden for breakfast or lunch has such a variety of goodies that are all excellent. So thank you for that report, Steve. Mike, did you have a chance to talk to your brother about food options at Harrah's Cherokee?
No, I didn't ask him. I forgot to ask him. But I'm sure it's okay because he would have mentioned if it wasn't.
Well, and Vinny, anything can happen in a certain trip too. And, maybe there just weren't a lot of options available then, or you had a bad experience, that can happen to anyone. So
Sure. I'll make a note right now to talk to my brother about that and see what he thought.
Okay.
Although I'll tell you, saying that they have the best
espresso ribeye in the whole state.
Yeah, that's saying something.
All right.
It's telling me two things. Number one, it's telling me it's a really good. And number two, it's telling me that he's eaten at every restaurant in the whole state.
That's right. Wow. Steve, I don't know if that's a compliment or wow.
I take it as a compliment. I mean it. But, if you can say that, that's a good recommendation.
All right. Well, let us know if you find
go there just for that.
Yeah, let us know if you find anything else out from your brother, because, of course, this is the Harrah's Cherokee podcast. As we've said many times, we want to get as much information out there as
They don't pay us anything, but...
Well, we got a very nice email from listener Raji. I think I forwarded it to you, Mike. He was just so complimentary. Yeah. It was just a really nice email. He had a couple of questions for us. So he says, I know the vast majority of your respective gambling is done locally, but with Dr. Mike now in Minnesota, how does this impact the larger overview of your gambling experience? So first for me, he says, Mark, are you going to the casino less? Did you still reach the same tier level for Caesars in 2022, or did Dr. Mike's absence mean less gambling and thus a lower tier? If a lower tier, is this anything that impacts you in any meaningful/noticeable way? Okay, so yes, definitely gambled less. Went up to Harrah, Southern California, much less. I did not make 7 stars last year. I'm back down to Diamond. Diamond is great, but I will miss a few 7 stars amenities. I think it's a $500 celebration dinner. You do get a 7 stars trip where they will pay for your airfare to a location. So, for example, when we go to Biloxi this year, well, I wouldn't stay at Harrah's anyway in Biloxi, but I wouldn't be able to use, the airfare because I'm not 7 stars anymore. So, yeah, that will affect me, but I'm not too concerned about it. I'm happy being Diamond. I may make Diamond again this year. And, me being 7 stars was fun for a few years, but I never really thought of myself as a 7 stars player. To be honest, I think I was rated at Harrah, Southern California very, very well. And that if I had put in the same amount of play, say in Vegas, as I did at Harrah, Southern California, I don't know that I would have made 7 stars.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. But you were there so often.
Yeah.
I personally think that it should be on time of play.
Well, yeah, we talked.
I mean, at a certain minimum, if a person's there every day and they're gambling $200 or $300 a day, you ought to be 7 star.
Yeah. Well, and we do know a lot of people out there who aren't really high rollers, but they're there constantly.
Constantly there.
Yeah. So I'm not too concerned about it. Really, I do expect to be Diamond again next year, and you still get a celebration dinner, $100, and there's some amenities with Diamond. So, but I'm not too concerned. And then for you, Dr. Mike, Raji says, I think you said on the podcast that the Diamond Joe Worth Casino is a Boyd property. I realize Dr. Mike may not make it out to Vegas much now, but is Dr. Mike now the highest level Boyd Players Club member? Has Dr. Mike's Caesars status dropped? Or does Dr. Mike still bet enough when he comes to San Diego that he retains his 7 star status? If Dr. Mike went to Vegas, would he consider a Boyd property now? Does the fact that Diamond Joe is a Boyd property move the needle for Dr. Mike? So let's start with the first question here, Mike. Are you the highest level Boyd Players Club member now?
Yes.
Okay, so you got there. Didn't take long to get there. Just going to Diamond Joe.
It didn't take long to get there, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do qualify for that. And I'll tell you, they give some pretty good offers.
I'm starting to get offers, Mike, from when I was there, and they are good.
They are good. I got $900 last weekend.
Wow.
In free play.
Yeah.
Then they had some drawing thing, which I only won $5 on, but that was the minimum. Everyone got $5 who came to the casino that night. Yeah, they have a lot of, free rooms and all that, which I don't take advantage of. And a lot of food offers, which I actually don't take advantage of because I'm there for the day. I want to play. I don't want to eat.
Right.
But I got plenty of food offers. So.
And then going on, has Dr. Mike's Caesars status dropped, or does Dr. Mike still bet enough when he comes to San Diego that he retains his 7 stars status? Now, you made 7 stars in 2022 before you moved away. So you're going to be 7 stars through the end of this year.
Right.
What do you think about your chances of being 7 stars qualifying this year?
Yeah, probably not.
I would think not too. You're just not going to play at Caesars enough.
I mean, I'm going to play in February, and I'll probably be in San Diego a couple more times. So I should hit diamond easily.
Yes.
But 7 stars, it just depends, really.
Yeah.
I mean, if I went to Harrah's at Biloxi, maybe. And if we go to Vegas once, maybe.
Yeah, it really is going to depend on how many opportunities you have to play at a Caesars property.
To play at a Caesars, Because usually I'll make it like in January, right?
Yes, it's true. In years past, he makes diamond the first day he goes. And then by the end of the month, he's 7 stars.
7 stars by, February. Yeah. So, if I can get a few trips in this year, I probably make it. All
right, well, I guess
I might be the lowest 7 star.
Yeah, you'll be more like a Mark 7 star.
Yeah, a Mark 7 star.
All right, and then finally, if Dr. Mike went to Vegas, would he consider a Boyd property now? I mean, there are no strip properties that Boyd owns. That's really the issue for you, right?
That's the issue. Yeah, I'd probably stay at Harrah's because I want to be closer to all the other casinos there.
Right.
Yeah, you stay at the Boyd properties, you're kind of out of the way. I mean, if I had a car,
you'd stay downtown probably. You probably wouldn't stay at one of the outer Boyd properties. But you'd probably stay downtown at Main Street Station or something like that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, definitely that. Yeah, I don't want to drive too far because I like to go to both.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I'd be at the Strip of the day and then end up the night back downtown. But
yeah, very good. Well, thank you very much for those questions, Raji.
Yeah, and thank you very much for the nice compliments in your email. That was super nice. And very nice. So much so I had my mother-in-law read it. I said, look how nice this guy is.
Yeah, we appreciate Raji very much. Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click on our Amazon link towards the top of the page. All right, let's move on to voicemails. First up is Dan.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike, this is Rev Dan from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm a first-time caller, and I've been having the itch to get out to Vegas for some time now, and for various reasons haven't been able to, and so I've been able to scratch that itch just a little bit by listening to your podcast, and I really appreciate you guys. I wanted to share something I saw last night. Last night was I think a 1.3 billion Mega Millions jackpot. And I saw this stat. It said if you knew a dog was only going to bark once in the next 9 years, you would have a better chance of guessing the exact date and time of that bark down to the second. So, for example, the 12th second of 4:07 a.m. on July 15th, 2028, you'd have a better chance of guessing that than winning the Powerball or the Mega Millions. That was a sobering stat for me. I decided not to go buy a ticket. Hey, I wondered if you guys have ever done any gambling outside of the United States. My wife and I have done several great Caribbean vacations and have had a lot of fun in some of those casinos in Aruba, the Bahamas, Puerto Rico. I vividly remember in Puerto Rico, it was a Marriott resort, and they had a casino attached to it. They would bring you little grilled cheese with turkey or ham while you gambled. And let me tell you, running on midnight and you got a buzz going and you're drinking, nothing better than grilled cheese with turkey. I wonder if you guys have ever been to a casino where they serve food like that while you're gambling. Really appreciate the show and hope you guys have a great New Year.
Well, that'll be at our casino. Grilled cheese sandwiches just coming around. Yep. Grilled cheese.
That's nice. You get your choice, regular grilled cheese with meat, some kind of meat inside, bacon maybe, grilled cheese with a tomato inside. I love that.
Oh man. So no, we've never seen that. I'm trying to think of places where they come by and just offer you food of any kind, maybe hot dogs. We've seen places where they come around with a hot dog. But normally it's just drinks.
We've had places where we've got to eat. Like, remember Viejas when we used to play Pai Gow?
Oh, well, you can order.
They bring you a whole meal.
Well, sure. And I've done that too, playing poker. Where, they'll come there and there's some casinos where you can order it. But just coming around, Grilled cheese?
No,
Grilled
I've seen hot
cheese?
dogs. That's the only thing I've seen is hot dogs. Let me just take a tangent here, Mark, and talk about grilled cheese for a second.
All right.
I think of grilled cheeses just like I think of ice cream. Now, hear me out. There's all kinds of flavors of ice cream, but if somebody said to you, you can only have one flavor for the rest of your life, it would be...
For me, maybe cookies and cream?
No, vanilla.
See, I know you were trying to get me to say that.
Say that, yeah. But that's what it would be, right?
I know what you're saying. I get your point.
You take vanilla because you can eat vanilla all the time and you can add stuff to it and things like that.
All right.
And grilled cheeses are the same way, right? I like a grilled cheese with some bacon in there or some ham or turkey. I like tomato in a grilled cheese. You can throw things in it. But if someone said, well, you can only have one kind of grilled cheese the rest of your life, it would be just a regular grilled cheese, bread and cheese.
Well,
yeah,
I could probably live with that, but you're right.
Right. After a while, you just want a regular grilled cheese, right?
How important is this concept to you? I mean,
it's very important to me. And you know what's even better? Grilled cheese with a bowl of tomato soup.
Oh, yeah. That's fantastic.
That is like heaven.
Don't worry, though, Mike, because nobody's going to limit the kind of ice cream and the kind of grilled cheese you can have going forward.
Oh, well.
Maybe Lynn might do it if I pressured her.
Maybe the doctor might do it.
Maybe the doctor's saying no more grilled cheese or ice cream. That's what the doctor's saying.
Yeah. And to that, I'm saying, I'm getting a new doctor. All right. Well, I think about these things because they're important.
Good. And it makes for good podcasting. I've never done any foreign gambling other than when we used to go down to Mexico and bet on the dog races. So down in Tijuana, that's the most foreign gambling that I've ever done. You've done some, though, in Europe, though, right, Mike?
Yes. Europe at Wiesbaden, Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Went to the casino there, and I've been in Australia.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And I've been on the cruise ships when they go down to Mexico and stuff.
Right.
Oh, and I went to Cabo San Lucas, and I went into that little casino they had there. They didn't have craps, but they did have blackjack and poker and stuff like that. Yeah. I didn't stay long. It was a little shady. I was like, I don't want to get out too much money here.
So no real interesting stories, though, about any of the foreign casinos?
No, nothing. Yeah. Well, in Wiesbaden, you had to wear a jacket.
Yeah.
You didn't have to wear a tie.
Okay.
But you had to wear a jacket. And if you didn't have one with you, even if you were just like in jeans and a T-shirt, they would rent you a jacket.
Sure. Yeah.
So you could wear it while you're in the casino.
All right.
So, that was the only thing. And it was a little stuffy, to be honest. My feeling, it just felt like you're a elite class person in the casino, right? And it wasn't as loud and noisy as like a Las Vegas casino.
Do you think, and I'd love to hear what our foreign listeners have to say about this too, do you think that just the whole American culture, the American even stereotype that you would think of is that we're loud and we like to call attention to ourselves. And so in a casino, we're cheering, whereas rather, I've heard stories from Macau, for example, where, big things can be happening, but there's no whooping and hollering. They're focused on what's going on in the game and everything. So, maybe American casinos just are louder and
because we're Americans.
Because of our culture. Yep.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. They'd have a hard time with me in Macau or if they had a craps table
for a lot of reasons. Yeah,
for a lot of reasons. Just screaming for no reason.
That's right.
Like, what the hell?
That's
Throw that guy out.
Yeah, sir, please don't put that hot chocolate on your head.
Yeah, right. So anyway, that's my limited experience. My brother's had a ton of experience in foreign casinos, so I'll have to ask him what his thoughts are on that.
All right. Yeah. And then, Dan, going back to the little example of the dog barking, if you knew a dog was going to bark just once within 9 years, you'd be more likely to pick the correct second of that happening than winning the lottery. I love stuff like that. There are a lot of examples that you can kind of come up with to show how astronomical the odds are against you when it comes to winning something like the jackpot in the Mega Millions or, any of these that cross state lines, that kind of thing. And, even if you're betting the lottery on scratchers and, things where you do have a much better chance of winning something, remember, 50% of the entries go back to players, right? It's not like 98% or 99% that you might find on video poker or something like that. You're only getting 50% back, so it's a pretty bad bet.
Yeah, but it's fun. My advice to people was, if you want to play it, fine. Just don't invest a lot of money.
Don't invest a lot of money at all. And that's the thing, if you invest more money, well, your chances of winning increase, but you're not going to win.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, but you're still not going to win.
Yeah.
The lottery gets big, you buy $5 worth or $10 or whatever.
I understand that.
That's fine. I have no problem with that. Most people, that's, just splurging money. Yeah. But some guy who goes in and, buys $1,000 in lottery tickets because it's high is just an idiot.
Yeah.
Right?
Apologies to any of our listeners that bought $1,000
might have done that.
Well,
but I've never done that, Mark. Most I've ever spent on a lottery, maybe $20, get 10 tickets.
All right. So the reason you're bringing this up is because everyone knows you're like a crazy gambler, just throwing caution to the wind and betting ridiculous amounts of money on stupid bets. And even you don't bet $1,000 on the lottery.
Correct.
Okay, good. All right, next call.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Dr. Mike. Richard here from Orange County. I wanted to call in and thank you guys for a piece of advice you gave on a previous episode. I'm probably what you would call a lower middle roller. Most nights I bring about $1,000 to the table, maybe $2,000 for a weekend. So that kind of limits me to the way I play, $10 or $15 tables. This weekend we were in Vegas at Caesars and all the table minimums were $25 and $50. So I took Mark's advice and I would wait till a point was established and then I would place that point and place the 6 and the 8, maybe place a 5 and a 9 depending on my mood. And it just worked out. I started making money and started pressing and getting those bets up. And it was a strategy that really worked out for me as a lower middle roller on a high limit table. So I played this strategy for a while and I've probably up, $500 or $600 and we've been having a few drinks and we start talking about this guy on TikTok named D Lucky. He's this guy on TikTok who charges you to show you what slot machine is evidently going to pay out really big. We know he's full of crap, but he does make these videos where people are playing high-limit slots and winning tens of thousands of dollars. Two of the games that he always plays is Top Dollar and Pinball. So we're pretty loose, and we go, why not us? Let's walk our winnings over to the high-limit slots room and start playing. And I'll tell you what, we didn't lose. I mean, we didn't win a ton, but we didn't lose. And it was just so funny because we were pretty drunk and we're laughing, and we would just put in $500 and win $600. Then we'd lose it all, go back to the craps table, win $500, take that back to the high limit slots, win $600. It was just so funny. We were just laughing because we were never really down. We were never really up. It ended up being just a really great time of just goofing around where we had this strategy of making money on the craps table, trying to win a jackpot on the slot machines. So by the end of the night, we both still had our bankrolls fully intact and had the experience of playing some of these high limit slots. The trip ended up being my best Vegas trip I've ever had. We played a bunch more craps, a bunch of other games, and then I just went on a heater. I had the best roll I've ever had at Caesars at a $25 table. I ended up pulling the dice for an hour and 15 minutes. It was just insane. I wasn't dice setting or rolling them against the wall. I was just picking them up and chucking them down the table. And I would just roll number after number after number. As I'm rolling for this hour and 15 minutes, of course, I'm pressing up all my numbers and just keep stacking chips in my rack. There was a big high roller at the end of the table, and he was absolutely crushing it. I was very happy with my stack, but his stack was absolutely insane off my roll. I finally did 7 out after an hour and 15 minutes. I bought in, like I said, with $500. I cashed out with over $7,000. He cashed out with $27,000. But you never know, these guys with high stacks, they could be up $27,000 on your roll, but down $50,000 for the weekend. Yep. After my roll, I tried to give him a high five and just congratulate him. With the whole table was going nuts, and we were having a great time. And he just cold shouldered me, wouldn't give me a fist bump, just looks down at the ground, didn't want to talk. I mean, I thought it was kind of weird, but people are different, so that's how they are. Either way, I had an amazing time. Just had to call and tell you about one of those craps trips where just everything went right. Now I got my bankroll all topped off for my next couple of craps trips. All right, guys. Hope all is well. Thanks for the show. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Richard. Richard actually followed up with an email, too, with a few more details here. He said, I did put $10 on the all for my big roll. Not the tall or small, because I was limiting my play so I could play at the higher limit tables. Glad I did, because I made $1,500 when I finally rolled the 3 at minute 50 of my 1 hour, 15-minute roll. And then he says, also, we played the top dollar on our high limit slots adventure, $125 a spin. We did hit a top dollar bonus, but it was only $800. Still a great time. Yeah, it sounds like a great trip, and what a great roll, an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, that's a monster roll.
Yeah, huge.
You know, the guy that won 27,000 that wouldn't even, give him a high five or anything afterwards. It's just a...
Yeah, I agree. Even if, Richard makes a good point. Just because he won $27,000 doesn't mean he is up for the day or the weekend or anything. There have been plenty of times, Mike, where you and I have gone up to the cashier and we're cashing in with a ton of chips, and the cashier just assumes we won. But it's like...
And they say, oh, a good night. And I'm like, no, I lost 5,000.
But you're right. Even if that were the case, a little something. Hey, that was a great roll. Show some camaraderie.
The thing about it is, so let's say the guy was down 50,000. Well, if he made $20,000 on that roll, he got some of his money back.
Exactly.
I'd be happy. I'd be as happy as could be.
Yeah.
Not to give him a high five or recognize a great roll. I mean, that's a great roll.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's just kind of a jerk, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. And then Richard mentioned D Lucky. Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about D Lucky on Twitter and other places. Yeah, he's basically a con man. What he'll say is, he's made an internet presence for himself, saying, "Hey, I'm this slot guru or whatever," and then people pay him money to have an experience with D Lucky. And so they'll get this whole thing set up where they're supposed to meet him at Wynn at a certain time. And then they'll get this message that says, oh, the venue has changed. We're actually going to meet at El Cortez. Talk about two extremes, right? First it's Wynn, and now it's going to be El Cortez. And then he just sits with you while you play slots. And if you win something big, well, he'll record it and put it up online. And if you don't win anything, he basically just walks away. Okay, well, thank you. So, yeah, it's stay away from D Lucky.
What's his motive for that? I mean, he makes money on it?
He makes money. He charges people for these experiences with him. And, he doesn't know anything about slots other than he's made an internet presence for himself and he's conning people. So,
God, people like that. It's just like you roll for an hour and 15 minutes. He just picks up the dice and throws them.
Yeah.
And other people would say, oh, come on, that can't happen. You had to be setting the dice or doing whatever. No, it just happens, right? Yeah. Same with the slots. You can sit down at one and get lucky and hit that one. I know people have different ideas about which ones are going to hit and stuff, but...
Well, and there are some legitimate advantage plays on slots, but it's not a matter of just... oh, this one's due, or, nobody's played this for a long time, or, things like that, right?
Right. Or this one's close to the door, it's going to hit.
That's right, because they want it to. All right, let's move on. Next up is Mike.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Mike from Charlotte, North Carolina. Got a trip report from Cherokee for you. Went up Sunday before the MLK holiday. Craps tables were $15 for crapless, $25 minimums for regular. And I saw 2 crapless, 4 regular tables, and then they had to shoot to win. So quite a good crap scene up this way. But the big news, I hit my very first Royal Flush playing $1 jacks or better. So a nice $4,000 payout on that one. And the amazing thing to me was I only held the jack and the king of clubs to the Royal Flush, and they dealt me the other 3 cards. So it can happen. It's the first time for me in 20-some years of gambling. So hopefully your luck and your day is coming. Thanks a lot, guys. Hopefully see you in Cherokee sometime. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, another good Harrah's Cherokee review.
Yep, and another Royal Flush. Yep. Now, we have twice as many years of gambling as him.
Yes, correct. And Mike, I was thinking about this recently, too, especially after listening to this call. I think I am going to hit a Royal Flush pretty soon. I don't think you are. I don't think you ever will. But now I've got a feeling, that for whatever reason, I think I'm going to hit it.
All right. Well, I hope that's true.
Yeah.
But don't count on it, Mark.
Okay. All right. I won't. I had $20 in free play, up at Harrah's the other day.
Right.
So I went and played video poker. Nothing. $0 out of that 20.
Wow. Well, were you playing $5?
Yeah, I was playing $5 a pull. So
4 pulls and you didn't win
4 pulls I didn't win. It's not that unusual, but there you
go. Oh, Mark, one more pull.
Yeah.
That would have done it. You have 5-pull system, and you would have hit it.
I know. I should have
Or
put
you
in some
could've-
of my own money so I could get
Yeah,
5.
It's $5 more. Oh.
All right. Let's hear from our good buddy Kevin.
Hey, Mark, Dr. Mike, it's Kevin from Wisconsin. Thanks again for all you do. Love the shows, as always. I have a trip report and a sports betting story in which you might be interested. I took a quick guy's trip down to Dubuque a week ago. Dr. Mike, sorry for not texting you. As you know, Diamond Joe in Dubuque is a lot like Diamond Joe Worth, aside from some additional lighting in Dubuque. Both are cool properties with nearly identical amenities. Dr. Mike will find some way to get together here soon. Within about 90 minutes of arrival at the casino in Dubuque, I went from $800 to $78 counting sports bets, craps, and slots. Well, that wasn't very fun. After that initial hour and a half, my buddies Andy and Chris head to the craps table. I end up following them. The table gets hot, and I pick up a quick $200. The best part of the story is after I leave the table, Andy hits the ATS, so I'm gone. He ends up making some good coin. After a few more sports bets and some nice slot hits, I end up leaving the casino that night with about $40 more than when I started. So goes gambling, I guess. Here's a sports story. I have another buddy who uses FanDuel, and he put in about $1,200 that he was betting on the Buffalo Bills-Cincinnati Bengals game. He put the money into the app. Well, the game got called, as you know, because of the Damar Hamlin story, and there was no action. FanDuel canceled his bets, of course, but they wouldn't let him take the money out of the app. They told him they weren't a bank and that he needed to bet through the money before they would let him withdraw the cash. Now, I love FanDuel, by the way, and I think they have more bets than Vegas for the most part. I just thought that was kind of shoddy since he did bet through the money, but the unfortunate incident caused his bets to be voided. Needless to say, that wouldn't have happened if he just bought the tickets. He admitted that, but said the app helps prevent him from misplacing any bets or tickets. Anyway, keep up the good work, and best to both of you. I'm still waiting for you two to have Royals at the same time on video poker. Take care.
Yeah, Kevin, I'm going to get down to that Diamond Joe Dubuque one of these days. It's a little further drive for me, so it'd have to be a time where like maybe I stay overnight there, like go Saturday morning, come back Sunday or something.
Yeah, you should. Because it's Boyd still, right? So you'd be able to get a
Right.
room, no problem. They have a hotel there?
I'm sure they must.
Yeah, okay, good.
Well, it's in Dubuque, too.
Yeah, it's a little bigger than,
Yeah, Lynn's cousin lives in Dubuque, so worst comes to worst, we stay at her house. Yeah, I'm going to head down there one of these times. I want to see that and experience it. Although the people at Diamond Joe Worth tell me that they're better than Dubuque.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, you don't want to go there. We're much better here.
Well, tell that to the Dubuque people then, right, when you're there.
Yeah.
Diamond Joe Worth, they say they're a lot better than you.
Talking some crap about you.
Well, this whole business with Kevin's friend and, that Buffalo-Cincinnati game that was canceled, it's sort of a strange situation, right? Because he put the money in. He did bet it through. It was returned because the game was canceled, obviously. How often does that happen then when somebody wants to withdraw that money, take that money back? I would hope that if he contacted someone at FanDuel customer service, that he would be able to get the money back. And because it might be just some automatic reply that, hey, it shows that the money wasn't actually played through anything. And, we're not a bank. I wonder if they use those words exactly. We're not a bank. But I would.
Hey, we're not a bank.
Yeah.
That's the whole sentence.
That's it, right? Yeah, that was it. But who knows? Obviously, again, this situation is not going to come up very often. But yeah. All right. Last call.
Hey, guys. It's Jeff from Los Angeles. I heard your last podcast, and I wanted to make some comments on that tipping. I guess the lady won $1.7 million, and she tipped something like $77,000. And Mark said he would have tipped $170,000.
It was Mike that said that.
That's great. And you do what you want with your money. And if that's what you want to do, I think that's great. But to me, that's absolute lunacy. That's a lot of money. That's college tuition on multiple kids if you got them. Or down payment on a house here in Los Angeles. That could probably pay for houses in most parts of the world. And you're going to give it to a dealer just because they were standing next to you when you hit all this fortune. So I think that's crazy. you wouldn't give Mark that kind of money, and he's your friend for all these years, and you would be wrong to do that. Why would you give it to somebody who's a dealer who doesn't even know your name, most likely? I don't want to sound cheap. I was thinking what I would tip. I would tip, I don't know, 500 to at the most 1,000. I don't even think I would tip 1,000. And that might make me very cheap to a lot of your listeners, but that would by far be the biggest tip I ever gave anyone in my entire life. And ironically, I would be looked at as being a cheapskate in that situation. That's fine, but I don't understand tipping that much. It's also, you're playing these games and they're all negative EV, right? And she was playing a side bet. So if she continues to play and thinks, this is great, I'm going to be here every other day playing this game, she's going to give all that money back. She's going to lose it all. It's going to happen. And when that happens, do you think any of the dealers who were in that pool are going to give her, $5 and say, hey, here's gas money to go home, or here's 20, get something to eat? Whatever dealer she's in front of when she loses her money is going to be like, you got to get up and leave. Go to the ATM. If you get more money, you can continue to play. I have nothing against dealers. I don't know them. I would rather spend that money on myself and my friends and family. Just my thoughts. Take care. You guys are doing a great job. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, when it comes to tipping, and there's a lot of discussion on the internet too, especially within this community, it's almost like discussing religion. People have some pretty strong opinions about it. And I don't want our show to kind of become a place for people to debate it, because I don't think there's any point to it. But I think you understand our position. We are pro tippers, and Mike is a very big tipper. I will say this, though, that I kind of struggle with sometimes. On a recent episode of The Better Life, I was telling Tim how sort of shocked I was when I looked at how much I had tipped last year, right? I keep pretty good accounting of all the gambling, and I keep tips separately. And I was sort of shocked at how much I had tipped. And it was little small tips along the way. At the same time, we definitely believe in tipping. Now, these extreme situations that are probably never going to happen to most of us, where it's just incredible amounts of money.
Right.
You hear stories of people who don't tip at all. And yeah, people come down hard on them. And you could have a whole discussion about tipping, and it's terrible. We live in a tipping society even. Why don't we?
Yeah.
Why isn't that just included in the price of service, and et cetera, et cetera? So anyway, yeah, everybody's got their own opinion on tipping, and really, we're not going to judge anybody on their opinion. I'm certainly not going to do it in a public forum. But, we're both tippers, and Mike, I think that's some of the enjoyment that you get out of playing these games is the tipping. Now, Jeff makes a good point, $170,000. Well, yeah, you could buy a house for that. So even though you've won $1.7 million, does it make sense? I will say the one thing I do agree with Jeff on is that you should give me $170,000 if you ever win $1.7 million. I think that's the one thing I do, yeah.
I've got a few things to say.
All right.
Number one, how many times have I given you some money when I've won?
Oh, constantly. Oh, you've given me so many gifts in the form of bets or just actual cash.
Yeah. So that's just me, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so, yeah, I do give you money. And all of my friends, I've done that for, even people I just met.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you, when you mentioned that you were surprised how much you had tipped.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. If you had not tipped anything, zero.
Right.
Number one, would you look at that and say, oh my God, I didn't tip anything and I, won this amount of money, or I gambled this amount of money?
Sure.
And number two, if you hadn't have tipped anything, would it have changed your life in any way, that little extra bit of money that you had?
Well, no. Changed my life? No.
No.
Yeah. Here, I'll tell you how much I tipped last year. It was a little bit over $1,800. Okay. Yes. And to me, that was kind of shocking because I'm not a high roller. Maybe, I bet a little bit more last year because I had a really good year the previous year. But those were all just, a $1 pass line bet. Every once in a while giving them odds. A $1 tip on Baccarat or on Pai Gow Poker. And it's amazing how it adds up.
It adds up because we go and stay for 7-8 hours, and
Yeah.
we go every week,
Right.
you know,
And
or twice a week.
This is the struggle that I'm having kind of internally too, is that if at the end of the year it turned out I had tipped like $800, then I would have, okay, yeah, I guess that sounds reasonable. But when it's $1,000 more than that, I kind of take pause. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to stop tipping, and I'll probably tip the same amount that I usually do.
Right.
But it is something to consider.
Well, I look at it like this. Say that's $1,800 that would have been in your pocket and not in the dealer's pockets.
Okay.
Would it have changed your life in any way having $1,800 more? No, not really.
No.
Right?
Right.
But it might change the life of some of those dealers. Having an extra few bucks in their pocket at the end of a pay period might be enough to take their family somewhere or do something pleasurable.
Well, okay, let me put it this way. Not just my tips.
Right.
I don't think because my tips, it's $1,800, but that's spread over a lot of people. So my tips are not going to make much difference to those lives.
People tipping.
But overall, people tipping, sure.
Yeah, changes their lives, right? So this is the way I look at tipping. I'd rather help people, even if I don't know them. They don't know my name. I don't know them. I just always feel like it's going to help in the long run some people down the line. Now, I'm sure that the 1.7 million, whatever got tipped, didn't go to just that dealer. It went to the whole,
it was spread out. Yeah, sure.
It was spread out among many people. And I look at it this way. If I take home $1.7 million or I take home $1.5 million, was that extra 200,000 or whatever going to change my life, really? Probably not.
Maybe not yours, but it could affect other people.
Somebody.
I just want to make it clear that this is your opinion about your life, and that's fine.
Right.
And I do want to make it clear that really no judgments from me or Dr. Mike on Jeff, who would tip, $1,000 if he won 1.7, or no judgments against people who don't tip at all for philosophical reasons or whatever.
No, because everyone lives their own life.
Right.
So you make your own decisions, whatever makes you happy. I'm okay with that. Yeah. However, I will say this. For anyone out there who doesn't want to tip, just say to yourself, Dr. Michael, tip a little extra to cover you.
There you go. Wow. So Dr. Mike has given permission to virtually everybody out there to not tip because he's got it covered.
I'm going to cover you. That's my goal in life. I'm going to cover you.
All right.
One last thing I should say, just throughout your life, do what you want to do. Don't let other people judge you or shame you or anything. Do what you want to do.
All right. Well, let's put this subject to rest and let's put this episode to rest.
All right.
We do thank some people for some recurring donations. Robin from Anytime Gambling. Nathan. Brian Dancer. Brian and Sarah. Josh. And the boys over at Crap Vegas. Thank you very much for those recurring donations. We also got a donation from Brendan. Karma donation for my Biloxi trip to the Palace Casino from the 13th to the 16th. Well, hope you had good luck. I think that was just this last week. Hope that was a good trip for you, Brendan.
Right.
Also, a donation from Chris from Austin. Karma donation for a birthday trip to Vegas in February. My birthday is actually in March, but I'd prefer to avoid the crowds and high minimums that come with March Madness. Here's to a winning month for all of us. All right, well, thank you very much, Chris, and have good luck on your trip. And finally, from our buddy Kevin that we heard from earlier, reward for Dr. Mike's residency powers with the Minnesota Vikings. What does that mean? I don't know if
it didn't help much in the playoffs.
Wow, okay. Thank you very much, Kevin. Hey, be sure to check out our TV listing showing all the gambling-related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks at youcanbetonthat.com/TV-listings and our list of gambling-related movies at youcanbetonthat.com/movies. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
Or you can email us at youcanbetonthat@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at youcanbetonthat and on Facebook at facebook.com/youcanbetonthat. Finally, please go to your favorite podcast app and write a review of the show. We love getting your feedback. Dr. Mike, how do you feel about football?
Oh, football and I have a love-hate relationship, Mark.
Yeah.
Right now, I hate it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Who would you like to see in the Super Bowl of the remaining teams? Now, we're recording this on Sunday before the 2 games today.
Yeah.
So right now, there are, 6 teams left?
Mike, I don't care. Really, I'm not rooting for anybody at this point. What about you?
Well, I would like to see from the AFC either Buffalo or Cincinnati.
Okay.
In the Super Bowl. They play each other today,
Right.
so I'd take either of those 2 teams.
Okay.
I just don't want it to be Kansas City.
Yeah. Sorry, Melanie.
Sorry, Melanie, but I just had enough of Kansas City.
Yeah.
And then from the NFC, I would like to see San Francisco.
Okay.
But I'd be okay if Philadelphia was there too, because I can hate either of those 2 teams.
It's true. It's true.
So I want a team that I can't stand to play a team that, I'm okay with.
Okay.
So I'm okay with, Buffalo or Cincinnati. And I'm definitely not okay with San Francisco or Philadelphia. San Francisco has to win today against Dallas. And Dallas would be my least.
Well, so you could hate Philadelphia, San Francisco, or Dallas, right?
Yeah, I could hate all 3 of those.
Are you?
I
you're
would
definitely
hate Dallas the least.
You're definitely going to root for the AFC in the Super Bowl, is what you're saying.
Unless Kansas City's there.
Unless Kansas City's that, right? Yeah.
And depending on, if it was Dallas and Kansas City, I'd root for Dallas.
Okay.
If it was Kansas City and Philadelphia, I'd probably not watch the game. And just go to the casino and play craps.
There you go. You can watch it
and
from the
position myself
anyway.
so I couldn't.
Oh, so you
it.
could not see it. Okay, all right, that makes
I just
sense.
listen to the roar.
Okay.
And if it was Kansas City and San Francisco, then same thing. I don't know. Maybe I'd root for San Francisco, but just the same. San Francisco's won plenty of times.
Yeah.
Dallas has won plenty of times. Kansas City's won plenty of times. Philadelphia's won a few times.
Yeah. Well, it'd be fun for Buffalo to actually go to the Super Bowl and win.
Yeah. See, now that's a novel thing, right? Buffalo winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's going to happen probably before the Chargers or the Vikings win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But I am excited to watch football. And I'm really excited about college basketball and hockey going on and NBA basketball to a little degree until the playoffs come. So, yeah, it's a good time of year for sports fans. And you know what? As soon as February gets here, it's not that far till spring training.
Yeah, pitchers and catchers report.
Yep, pitchers and catchers report. This is going to be the Padres' year, I'm telling you right now.
You might be right, Mike, boy, based on some of these deals.
They are loading up.
Yep.
They have a great bullpen. They have good starting pitching, and they're loading up on hitters.
Yep.
What could go wrong?
All right. Thanks for listening.
Good night.
Mike, Mark, that was wonderful. I had no idea you were so talented. The audience is going to love you.